Hello guys, welcome, I'm SimUK. This is Gulftopia, a fantastic game, just released on the 21st of July 2020. Now this game is perfect for those of us who just want to have a chill out experience, but just really enjoy that experience. This game offers so much content and it's still in early access. I really cannot wait to see what they add as the game progresses and moves forward. It's £15.49. This game was sent to me for review purposes, and I have tried to get a review out to you a couple of times now, and I just wasn't happy with my first 3 courses, and my 4th course, which I actually really am very happy with, I forgot to turn my microphone on, so that footage has been converted into a time-lapse video, which you can see on the link here if you want to see some gameplay. But quite literally, this game is just brilliant. It really offers so much already. It's in early access, and yet it is absolutely sublime. It quite literally ticks all the happy boxes, and I can sit and play this game for hours and hours and hours. It never gets boring, it never gets old. It's just a really good game. I want to be more concise about this review, but I haven't scripted it. I'm basically talking off the cuff. If you look in the background now, you can see an example course that was created presumably by the developer, and the talent that he has for creating courses seriously exceeds my own, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a really fun experience no matter what you're doing or how well you do. There's a lot to learn. This game has got quite a bit of depth already. I don't know what to expect in the coming weeks and months from development, but even if you pick this game up now, £15.49, this game will give you hour upon hour upon hour of fun. It's just very chilled out, very relaxed, and very enjoyable. The soundtrack that you can hear in the back of this video, that is in the game. That is the game soundtrack. Now, I might get pulled up for that because you're not supposed to include music in your videos, but I really think it's important to show you what the music is like in this game, because as far as I'm concerned, it perfectly adheres to the game's ethos, the feeling behind it. It's very chilled out, it's very upbeat, it's very happy, it's very calm. It's very interesting. It's a very good game, and the soundtrack that goes with it is just perfect in my opinion. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the game. So when you create the game, you will have the option to create the map itself. And there's a whole bunch of different sliders and stuff up here. And you can twist and verify these and hit the old regenerate map button, and it will change. It doesn't change a lot. The biggest suggestion I can give for you is get rid of the roundedness and regenerate the map that way. That just tends to create better maps for what you're trying to do. Now, I haven't quite worked out how to manipulate water, how to add water, how to get rid of water. But that's not a big problem because you can work around it and you can incorporate it into any of your holes. One of the cool things about this game is that you don't have to have all of your holes linked up perfectly. They can be separated. The fairway doesn't have to stretch all the way. In fact, so much so that there's a teleportation system in this game which will allow you to teleport from one part of the map to pretty much anywhere else you like. You don't have to adhere to any kind of normal conforms in games like this. It's totally unique. It's brilliant.
Yep.
So the Clubhouse is a very futuristic thing. People arrive via what appears to be a spaceship. You set up your golf course very simply by creating a tee and then creating the hole. There's a lot of features. You can have these checkpoints which golfers have to tick before they can progress, or you can turn those checkpoints into teleporters, as I mentioned before. You've got these test hole options, so you can see where your golfers are going to hit the ball, and then you can build your course to kind of mollycoddle them, I suppose is the best way of saying it. Because whilst your golfers want to have a game of golf with the impression of difficulty, what they don't want is for it to be difficult, if that makes sense. So if you add too many sand traps and people hit them constantly, that's going to ruin their game experience. So they won't like that. But what they will like is a hole that looks really difficult, yet they play a good shot. That will tick a lot of boxes for people. The level of freedom that this game offers is pretty incredible, and each individual golfer has their own skill set, their own strengths, their own weaknesses, their own needs, their own desires. When I'm speaking about needs, I'm talking about the need for water, the need for food. They'll also have toiletry needs, they'll have desires for the golf course itself. Some people want more of a challenge, some people want less of a challenge. It's a very, very difficult balance to get right. But if you keep playing with it, give it a bit of time, give it a bit of thought, you can create some incredible, incredible golf courses and golf holes. The tools that are available are pretty impressive. There's a lot of customization. You can really pretty much build whatever you want. There's almost no limitation at all. But certainly, as the game evolves and improves, I think we could see even more functionality, even more tools and objects and items to utilize to make the best golf course possible. Now, there are many different ways that you can encourage golfers to play better. One of the ways to do it is to create these things called mega wickets. Now, mega wickets are probably going to be the thing you use the most. You can increase or decrease their height and also their attractiveness. And depending on how attractive they are, encourages golfers to hit the ball in the direction of the mega wicket. This can encourage golfers to stay down the centre of a fairway rather than going wide. And if you group them together, put maybe 2 or 3 together in close proximity, you can get them to slice, hook, or just hit dead straight, depending on what you want them to do on the course. You can also add sand traps, or you can add something called a mud trap. Now, if the ball goes into a mud trap, pretty much the same as if it goes in water, you've lost it. That ball has gone. But you can also use these hazards to encourage your golfers to stay away from certain areas. Now, the reason why it's important to make your golfers happy, or to keep your golfers happy and challenged at the same time, is that they pay you per hole depending on what experience they had. Now, this game is quite in-depth, as I've mentioned, so if you're doing any work near them whilst they're playing golf, that will negatively impact on their happiness, and as a result, you will get paid less for their particular hole. In addition to everything I've mentioned already, there are these boosts or power-ups, skill boosters, and you can place them near the driving range, certain parts of the course, on the putting range, or even just encourage people to move faster. If you combine, for example, a driver booster with a bunch of gates and a very tricky bit of course, you can really boost their happiness to quite a serious extent. And in addition to that, this game really does have depth. This is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week golf course, which means people want to play at night. Now, in order for them to play at night, they need to be able to see. So you need to place lights pretty much everywhere. What these lights do, in essence, is charge up the golf ball for each player. So their golf ball will glow, and it will continue to glow for a good minute or two. Failure to do this will, of course, result in some negative comments. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can teleport in this game, and the map is pretty large. It's not maybe as big as I would like to see it. I'd maybe like to see it get twice as big as this, but it certainly is big enough. And what this means is there's going to be a lot of walking around. There are many things you can do to encourage or improve the way in which your golfers move around your golf course. One thing is to add paths pretty much everywhere, but in logical places, obviously. This encourages them to walk on the path and they move a bit quicker, which then stops them from holding up play too much. In addition to that, some people bring these hover carts. They basically sit on them, it's like a hoverboard, and they hover up and down the golf course at their leisure. You could also rent those out to people. The best thing, though, in my opinion, is the trans tube connector. It's like a suction pad. They get sucked up this tube and then shot along it, and they pop out wherever it is they want to be on the golf course. This enables them to move around very quickly and reduces the time it takes for them to get from one end of the hole to the other end of the hole. Therefore, more people can play golf. It's pretty self-explanatory. Even though they're doing very little walking in such a circumstance, they still get tired, thirsty, and hungry. They also still have toiletry needs. So you're going to have to place down benches, food, drink options, a bin to throw away their rubbish, and obviously some toilets for them to use. As the game expands and you upgrade your clubhouse, you will get access to new prestige items. This includes an orbital power relay, a hotel, a restaurant, buzz lounge, hover rentals, which I've already mentioned, the putting green, which is one of the first things you unlock, and the driving range. These also add boosts to your players, so you'll see the same players coming back time and time again, and their skills and benefits will increase. Their skills include drivers, irons, putter skill, and recovery skill if they've had a bad shot. Their needs include a bladder, hunger, thirst, fatigue, garbage, and boredom. Boredom basically means how long they've been waiting to get onto the next hole. And blow by blow, shot by shot, they will give feedback on how they feel about the shot they just played. Perhaps it was too easy, perhaps it was too hard. Perhaps they feel like there should be a fairway at this location, or the green should cover this location. There are lots of overlays that you can turn on and off, and this gives you a lot of information, and based on that information and the feedback you're given, you need to tweak your holes so you're getting maximum profit out of each particular player. Now, in addition to all of that, I did say this game was deep, you get these orbital power options. Now, you can spend them on 5 different things. Mysterious Happy Beam. So sometimes your players can get pretty annoyed or aggravated, especially on the putting green and the driving range. If they get too annoyed, they will actually start punching each other and trying to knock 10 bails out of each other. You can hit them with the old happy beam and that will stop them for a while, but if they're really unhappy, they'll just start fighting again. In addition to that, you have weed bombs. Now, that's not what you might think it is. A weed bomb basically is a gardening tool in order to get rid of weeds. Your basic enemy in the golf course are weeds. Weeds will try and destroy your fairways and everything that is basically part of your golf course. You do have robots that go around and destroy them. You also have a greenkeeper who can go around and sort them out. But as the golf course gets bigger and more busy, you're going to find that there's more weeds, especially when it starts raining. They start popping up all over the place. So you can drop a weed bomb on a particularly difficult area. You can also install these like lasers that attack weeds, etc, etc. There's a lot that goes on just around weeds. Remote resupply. Now, if you've got an area that sells food and drink and whatever, they only hold about 10 items each. So when they're gone, nobody can buy them, and this will reduce their mood. Obviously, if you're hungry or thirsty whilst you're playing golf, you're not thinking 100% about your next shot, you're slightly distracted, that's going to impact on you negatively. That's what a remote supply does. If you don't have enough staff to go and resupply everything in time, then you can just resupply yourself. Subliminal skill injection. If you've got a player who's playing particularly badly, or a group of players who are playing particularly badly, you can hit them with a subliminal skill injection and they'll just play better for a short period of time. And interestingly, or intriguingly, there's something called an orbital extortion, which is basically theft. You will go into your players' wallets and steal money off them. Sometimes if you need money, that's the only way to do it. So I've given you a very brief overview about what this game offers. There's a lot more that this game does offer. There are awards and targets and tactics and approaches and techniques and mud bunkers. Mud bunkers, like water, suck your ball up. You'll never get it back. It's like an advanced sand bunker, I guess, but more annoying for your golfers. But this is a very good game. You can terraform, you can expand, you can customize, you can do whatever you like. This is such a great game. It's really chilled out. It's really fun. I really like it. I hope that you do too, guys. Definitely go check it out. Add it to your wish list. I'm pretty sure you will not be disappointed. Thank you for watching. Take care. Till next time. Goodbye.